Well, obviously it was a pretty significant race on two fronts. Obviously my father passed away that morning, so it was a pretty emotional day for me, and obviously the founder of Black Soil Bloodstock, a great friend of mine, like a brother, Brian Simpson. So the significance of the colours saluting on a day that was a pretty emotional day. I think it set the tone for the connection between maybe Black Soil Bloodstock and Gollan Racing, and certainly our two families. Brian's part of our family and I'm certainly part of his family. So it was a really significant day for the colours and just a very emotional, significant day as a whole. She trialled really well, and maybe not to the point where she was meant to do what she did first up. We've always had a great healthy opinion of her, and her first up win at Doomben was just breathtaking. She went straight to the front. She was challenged by another runner and she just kicked away and sort of won it as she liked. She then went to the Sunshine Coast and took on Steve O'Day's nice filly and up there, and she just sat in behind that day. Bailey took a sit on her and she went through a nice gap and hit the line beautifully, and really put herself right in contention then for the Winter Carnival. It was on the doorstep. The next two runs were two stakes races, and the idea was always to try and get to the JJ with her at 1400 and give her a chop at the Group 1, because that's the ability I sort of feel that she does have. So we took on Rothfire in the Champagne and she ran second. In hindsight now, if I look back, that probably bottomed her out. Went to a rock hard track on Eagle Farm on Stradbroke Day, and she ran below par. She's a beautiful filly, the Actuary. We paid a good bit of money for her as a yearling. She's a really, really nice type, and she was never really meant to be a pre-Christmas 2-year-old. She just was showing me all the right things, and we give her an opportunity before Christmas in case she could be a Magic Millions filly, and it just didn't work out. I give her a break and always brought her back with the winter in mind. Just took a little bit and a few little things just to get her right, and then when Bailey won the maiden on her, it wasn't by a big space, but it was a really, really good win. We rode her back that day off a slow speed and she charged, and then we got to the very wet track of the Phoenix and she just glided through the wet. She was just travelling like a winner from a long way out, and it was actually very painless to watch. And once she got out to that 1350, then out to the mile on wet ground, she was really good. And I think she's a filly that's particularly going to train on really well as a 3- and 4-year-old. Her pedigree tells you that. The type of horse she is, the way she's come back, this preparation, she's in for a really good 3-year-old year. Look, he's probably the best middle distance horse I've ever trained, I feel. I haven't had a lot of really good middle distance. We have won group races over the journeys. He's a very, very talented horse. He can sit off the slow speed and really show great acceleration. Winning Skinny's day, he was always going to get back from his draw and just sit behind them, and you can see Bailey tracking up, and he just unleashed that finish again, and he hit the front, and all of a sudden he started to pull up, and didn't know what to make of it. And unfortunately, he fractured his pelvis about 100, 150 metres out from the line. To still hang on and run where he ran was pretty amazing. We were really worried he was going to have to be euthanased at that point on the track. That didn't happen, and he's now in recovery mode. He goes for another scan in about 4 weeks. But at this point in time, everything's looking good for a return to racing. It'll be a while, but hopefully we can get him back, because he's a highly talented gelding. He's a gorgeous animal, beautiful type of horse, and if we can get him back and nurse him along, he's going to be the real deal. Look, I think Black Soil Bloodstock, they're very interesting. They're in the embryo stage of where they're at in their racing life, and obviously going to go on more breeding things and things like that. Their first season, I think, has been fantastic. He bought some really nice yearlings that first year that were 2-year-olds this year. They've had a really good 2-year-old season. They've had some of the older horses still there. All them nice 2-year-olds are going to train on beautifully to 3. They're a lovely bunch of rising 2-year-olds who just turned 2 coming through the stable, and I think their first season, I'd have to say it's been a huge success. The black and white colours are now really synonymous with racing up here in Queensland, and hopefully they will be on the national stage by the end of the next season.